Time for markets now, and let's get a quick check of what we got going on this week. We're going to continue our conversation with Jeff Peterson of Heartland Farm Partners. As we close in on harvest, some folks still have old crop that needs to be sold. So what does Jeff recommend?
Yeah, you know what, this is an area, and I know prices are down dramatically from where we were at before. You don't want to panic and sell in here. I'm not saying we found the very low price yet, but we're in the process of finding it. So I think if you need to move those bushels, the first thing you need to do is say, okay, can I get them moved into town? And there's some very good basis levels out there. There's some processors and some elevators that need some corn. If you can get that put on a basis contract, the nice thing about that is that would allow you to not have any storage. It would also allow you to pick up maybe upwards of a 70% advance of funds on those bushels, and it would also give you the ability to not set the futures price till sometime down the road. And so I think that would be something you could do. If you weren't able to utilize a basis contract, I mean, you could always go ahead and sell it and re-own on the board, or re-own with options would be a couple other alternatives. But I wouldn't panic selling here on corn or the bean side.
All right, so that's old crop. But what about new crop, as far as when there might be that next opportunity to price some additional sales? What do you think?
Yeah, that's a good question, you know, and that's the hard part, is that nobody probably has enough sold, and this isn't an area on the new crop side to sell either. What I would do is I'd wait. I think as we get the combines in the field on both the corn and the bean side, what I think we'll find is I think they will find less yield, and as a result, I think we'll have a chance to see the price come up. I think that will give us an opportunity then to make some additional sales on the new crop side. But something I want to kind of get us to think a little bit about is that the 2020 crop. You know, I know that seems like a long ways out to even be thinking about, but what I do think is that if bean prices stay where they're at relative to where corn is, there's going to be a lot of potential corn acres that could come into play next year, and especially in all this prevent plant acres that are out there. So I think we may end up having to look to go ahead and get some of that 2020 crop priced much earlier than what we'd normally find most years.
And then looking a few weeks down the road, we've got the quarterly grain stocks report at the end of the month. Anything you're looking for here that you'd like to talk about?
Yeah, I think that's going to be an important one for us to watch, because we're going to get a better handle then of actually where our stocks are at, and that's always a good one to get behind us. I think the other thing about that particular report this year is that there won't be a lot of commingling of old crop and new crop, because honestly there won't be by that time probably a lot of new crop harvested yet, because this crop is behind. Mm-hmm. And so it'll also give us a feel of kind of what the feed numbers are doing, what the livestock numbers are doing in regard to how much they're eating. So I think that's something we'll watch and get a good feel. Then we'll be able to really decide, okay, where are we at basis-wise in the individual states, because we'll have a better idea of what the stocks are like because of that report, and then we'll be set to go ahead and move forward from there.
And anything you want to mention as far as risk management or marketing advice that we haven't talked about yet?
Yeah, I think this is just a good time of the year. Just, you know, dust off that marketing plan that you had out there. Make sure you kind of update all your break evens and know where you're at, and run through some scenarios now that you're getting out in the field, actually able to see what some of those yields are as you do some estimates, and then when you get the combines in, and really understand where you're at on how many bushels are going to have to move to town, because there's going to be some opportunities on basis. I think for harvest basis, you know, at some point in here we're going to have to get that locked up, but anything post-harvest I'd be a little bit patient on yet.